you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hello.
How are ya?
Good. Coming off a holiday weekend.
It was a busy one.
Not busier for anyone than me, other than me.
Oh, okay. Well, you did have a lot of momentous occasions.
It's like kind of annoying.
No one made you do this.
Oh, no one made me do this?
I'm just saying, like, ultimately when you get married on a holiday, your anniversary then falls on the holiday.
I know, but I didn't plan on having a baby.
That's true.
The day after the holiday.
That one was unplanned. I was talking about the holiday anniversary crossover.
But it's just like because the 4th of July also comes with like places do fireworks on the 3rd and they do them on the 4th and then there's some on the 5th and then it's like so you're going to fireworks and like then there's 4th of July plans and it's like what are you doing for your anniversary and then it's like Jack's birthday and you're like oh my god, like enough plans to fill an entire month in a week.
It is a busy weekend for you, particularly you. I agree. But you really enjoy fireworks, so it's kind of nice.
I love fireworks.
Every year for your anniversary, you get fireworks.
I know. It's really special.
It's pretty special. I like fireworks. I don't love them.
No, you don't even really like them.
I do like them. I was really looking at them over the weekend thinking like, they're pretty. I don't get them necessarily.
It's not a philosophical endeavor. It's fireworks. But like, they're cool to look at. You don't see it something like that really any other time of the year.
Right.
It's like a display show in the sky and it's very patriotic and you know how I love America
what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It is hard to get behind America right now. But I will say in the city they do fireworks I think every weekend.
I think every Saturday in ABP.
Yeah. So you should really be heading down there for that.
I would love to. I actually grew up spending a lot of Saturday nights at my grandma's house and she lived in the city right by the lake and so we would go up on her rooftop every Saturday and watch the fireworks show from Navy Pier.
So maybe it's like a sentimental thing for you.
I don't know why you need an explanation for why I love fireworks. People like fireworks.
No, it was fun to see Jack love them.
You'd think that it's like something so niche that I love, like cigarillos.
What are those?
You know those really like thin flavored?
No.
Oh, okay.
What are they?
They're like grape flavored or like strawberry flavored like cigarettes. They're like really thin, small.
I have never heard of these.
Oh.
I might need an explanation on those too.
Okay, but like you're acting like it's something so niche. You're like, that's probably why you love them. It's like, no, a lot of people love them.
I really think they're pretty and it was fun to see through Jack's eyes. So
I
maybe
know.
that like is a renewed fun thing.
It was his first time seeing the fireworks because people don't tell you this, like, oh, you take your, kid to see fireworks. The fireworks don't start until like 9:30 because that's when the sky is really dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about other people's 2/3-year-olds, but mine is not usually up at 9:30. And so years past, he has missed said fireworks. But this year we were like, you know what? You stay up late sometimes. Let's do it. And he was like so excited. Like we did his bath before we were leaving, which then just like you slather them in bug spray. So like, what's the point?
Best
but
laid plans.
He thought we were like going to put on his pajamas and he was like, I don't want to go to bed. I'm not tired. And I was like, no, you're not going to bed. We're putting clothes on. You're going to stay up late tonight. And he was like, really? Like so confused. We had dinner. He was running around, elated, go to the fireworks. He's like, keeps calling the fireworks fire trucks.
Similar word.
He's like, going to the fire trucks, going to the fire trucks. I'm like, fireworks.
It's like small details. Can't bother myself.
I'm like, do you know what fireworks are? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what? He's like, fun with mommy and daddy. I'm like, true.
He's not wrong.
We get there, like the first boom, he did like cowl in fear.
Because they're bombs.
Yeah, he did cower in fear, but then he like looked up and was like, wow. And he was pretty enamored.
Yeah, it was fun to see him enjoy them. One thing we can both agree about, parades are dumb.
Yeah, I don't understand parades.
Parades, I'm sorry. Why are we all just walking down the street in a line? We've closed a bunch of streets.
Also, I kind of have like a weird parade fear after
Yeah,
Highland Park.
I get it.
Like, I don't know. It's just like, and that could literally happen anywhere, of course.
Any
but like,
large gathering.
I do think of it with parades.
Parades, I just don't understand. Like, people who, there is like a whole group of people in the country who will go put their chairs out along the parade route early.
Yeah, you save your spot.
That is so foreign to me.
That's actually surprising because I feel like where you grew up would be really like 4th of July parade-y.
This is all parades. I don't like.
But did they have one there?
Yeah, of course. I never understood them.
Oh, you didn't go as a kid?
Never.
We went when we lived in the suburbs.
And also, you stand in one spot and just watch people drive by, most of which are businesses at age 7 you don't give a shit about. And then they're throwing candy and you're hoping you make it far enough into the crowd so you don't have small children coming onto the parade route. It all makes zero sense to me.
Okay, well, I mean, the logistics of it are...
I hate parades.
Is this because you had to plan a few parades in your...
I know, I actually hated them earlier.
You hated them before that?
Yeah, I had a friend who was Miss, I forget what, one town, Little Miss, Junior Miss something. And
Little Miss something.
she was in a parade. Actually, she was in quite a few parades during her reign. And she kept inviting me to her parades, which like was very annoying because she just sat on the back of a convertible and
waved.
And I felt obligated to go. Even as a small child, I had a hard time saying no.
As a small child, you felt the weight of obligation?
Yes. Like, I was like, oh, fuck. And so my mom would take me to the parade to see her. And I was always like, this is so dumb. I don't care. And she'd always be on some float that said, like, you know, Meyer Dentistry. And it was like, who cares?
But then they throw candy?
Yeah, they throw candy.
You see like a marching band. I don't know. It's like a patriotic thing. I understand like how it's fun for kids maybe. I didn't really love a parade ever as a child either. I was like, oh, that's, you know. But fireworks I've always loved.
Sparklers. I hate sparklers.
I don't think I've ever had a sparkler.
They're extremely dangerous.
That's probably why I have like safety first mother.
Why are we handing, like, you wouldn't let your kid play with matches. Obviously. Everyone's like, no, bad idea.
No matches for you.
4th of July comes around. We're like, okay, you know what? No to the matches, but we are going to light this stick on fire and hand it to you to wave around.
But doesn't it like burn down before it gets to your hand or something?
Yes, but you're also banking on a kid not touching the flame. The flame doesn't like spark them, like that they don't set it on another kid or another surface that's flammable.
Yeah, I've never really held a sparkler. I've never lit fireworks. I don't want to come that close to something that's like similar to a bomb.
As you shouldn't.
Didn't you have some like family trauma with fireworks?
Oh my God, my grandma had a family trauma when she was a kid. A bunch of kids she knew who she was playing with.
Like from her neighborhood?
Yeah, we're playing with sparklers, and trigger warning, this is very traumatic. They were playing with the sparklers and my grandma asked to go back to their house, and my great grandma was like, no one's ever watching those kids, like, you can't.
No, those kids are hillbillies.
And they were playing with more sparklers and they accidentally set one in a gas can instead of like a bucket of water.
Oh.
Boom.
Boom what?
The whole shed they were in.
They were in a shed?
Yep.
And all the kids died?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It's not really an uplifting story.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
No one was watching those kids. Open gas can?
Yep. Well, they were like sneaking the sparklers, like they weren't supposed to have them.
Right.
But you can't sneak something you don't have.
And then they put it in a gas can and it turned into a bomb.
Yep. Like they were just trying to put them out so they didn't get caught.
Isn't it crazy to think that if your grandma would have been like, sure, go, you wouldn't be here?
Extremely crazy.
Like little decisions.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't, maybe that's, my grandma hated 4th of July, so maybe that's part of it.
Your great grandma or your grandma?
Both.
After this incident?
I mean, I only knew them after this incident, so I can't speak to before.
But you had such a patriotic family.
I like 4th of July. I just think for some reason, dumb things become more prevalent. Like drunk people and fireworks and like sparklers. It's just like a recipe for chaos.
Why can't you just be a normal person who like grills hot dogs and
You
then walks
can.
to the park and enjoys a lovely fireworks
Why-
show over a drink?
You can, but we don't always get nice things.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I do, and I enjoy.
I enjoyed the
Immensely.
fireworks. I enjoyed the fireworks quite a bit.
When you first told me that you didn't like fireworks, it was like a number of years into us going to fireworks shows. Like, I just assume everyone likes fireworks.
Totally.
And we have visited a number of different firework things throughout our friendship. We've seen fireworks in college, many years. And just a couple of years ago, you were like, I don't think I'm going to go to the fireworks show this year. And I was like, really? That's the best part. And you were like, I don't like them. And I was like, you don't like them? We've been to so many. Why?
Well, you love them,
I do love them.
but I still want to be invited. Don't be confused.
Don't not invite you.
I would be so offended if you didn't invite me. I want the option to say no, as with all things.
Okay, good to know. You want to come begrudgingly?
No, I want to come because I want to come, but I don't want to not have the option to come.
So you still want to go see fireworks even though you don't like them?
I don't not like them. I just don't die over them.
And Tyler doesn't like them either.
He doesn't care either. We're two people who are very indifferent to fireworks. They're just there.
Your children are going to grow up in a really exciting home around the holiday.
We love other holidays.
Okay.
And if, again, Jack renewed my joy of it because it was fun to watch him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just being honest.
It was like when we were out to dinner. Do you know what story I'm going to tell?
No.
We were out to dinner, you and I, somewhere, and we were deciding what appetizers to order.
Oh my God, this is funny. This is actually funny.
And I was like, should we get like the caprese salad and whatever else? And then you were like, and then should we do the bruschetta? And I was like, I don't know if I feel like bruschetta, because you love bruschetta.
I love bruschetta. This was like literally 3 years ago.
And you were like, oh, really? I really want the bruschetta. I think we should get it. And I was like, I have to be honest with you. I hate bruschetta.
And you never said anything.
Because you love it.
You just hit a wall. You were like, I cannot eat these diced
I was
tomatoes.
like, my God, there's nothing special about this.
On a little
It's a
crispy
salsa.
bacon.
It's like a chunky salsa.
But you do like salsa.
Not enough to be like, I'm getting this salsa.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oh, I love bruschetta. I wish there was a place to get bruschetta right now.
You could get it at the grocery store.
Oh, maybe I'll run over.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
I'm like, one bruschetta, please.
So we're just a couple of people who do things
Because we love one another.
because we love each other.
Yeah, I'm sorry about all that bruschetta.
Like, I'll have a bite or two, but like if it's just the two of us and we're just sharing an appetizer, like, can we get something we both like? Calamari?
Absolutely, calamari. Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, no, Jack was so excited to see the fireworks. He turned into a little firework. My mom got glow sticks for all the kids, and he was holding his glow stick. Like, you know, at first it was a little sword, but then it turned into a wand. And then the fireworks started, and he kept like whooshing it toward the sky, like pointing his little wand at the sky. And then
He
when
was
there,
actually making the fireworks.
yes, when there'd be a firework, he'd be like, boom, bang. Like, he thought he was in charge of this fireworks show.
We should have said thank you for such a beautiful show.
We did. We were like, great job, Jack. And he was like, thank you.
Amazing work.
Yeah, he was being sweet yesterday. He's had some not so sweet moments.
That's being 3. That's being alive, honestly.
They say terrible twos, but I think threes might be worse.
I think I've heard that before.
Really?
That's, I think, a common. I think terrible 2s just had the alliteration. Even though 3 starts with T.
It's like he thinks that he knows everything suddenly.
Let me be M3.
Like, but he clearly doesn't. And then he'll use your own words against you. Here's a great example. So I'll be like, okay, Jack, like, I'll make him say what it is. You know, like, he wants to have one M&M before bed. Well, he wants to have 15 M&Ms before bed, but it's fine. And it's also like he stays at his grandparents' house and he eats 1,000 M&Ms.
It's like, give me the M&M's, bitch.
So then he's like, I know I can have more of these, but like, you have to have rules somewhere.
I've seen the other side.
Like, you don't have to have rules at your grandparents' house, but you have to have rules here.
Yeah, totally.
So he wants an M&M, and I'm like, Jack, if I give you this M&M, do you promise me that we're going to go upstairs and put on our pajamas? And he's like, yeah, okay, sure. Give him an M&M. He eats it. More M&Ms. I'm like, Jack, you promised me blah, blah, blah. So you have to remind him. It's a lot of like the same conversation over and over. The other day, we're on our way to the grocery store. He's like, and he loves going to Trader Joe's because they have the mini carts.
I think those are so like, they're setting parents up for failure.
Agreed.
I've seen many a meltdown over those carts.
Agreed. Usually he's totally fine. He loves walking with it. He likes like pushing the cart and I put stuff in it. It limits me to how much I can actually buy instead of going on a shopping spree because it's so small.
Everyone wins.
Exactly. But he was just in a little bit of a mood, I guess. I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to the grocery store. He's like, well, I get a cart. I'm like, yeah, you're going to get a cart. You're going to get a cart. Get out of the car. He takes his cart. I can't have my own size cart because like I need to be able to keep up with him, you know? I can't have a cart and him because if he takes off, I'm just abandoning my cart. Like, so we're walking in the store and he's already like starting to do zigzags. We're not aligned in our expectations.
The cart protocol.
And I just like, just because I have a kid doesn't mean that I think that everything kids do are so cute. Is so cute.
Yeah, of course.
And I hate when people's kids are like running through the grocery store. It's like, this isn't an amusement park. People are grocery shopping
I'm
here.
buying Brussels sprouts, okay?
Yeah. No one came here to see like this kid running around with his cart. Even though there are like some mostly elderly people who are like, how cute.
You're like, yeah, because you don't have to go home.
Right. So I'm like, Jack, you have to stay by mommy. Stay by mommy. Like, I need to put this stuff in. So I have like, you know, my arms at this point are full because Jack's like walking around with the cart. I bring my stuff to put in his cart and he's like, no, mommy, not in the cart. Carry it. I'm like, carry it? That's the whole point of this fucking cart. No. I'm like, no, Jack, this is the cart. This is what we do. Look around. Everyone's pushing carts. Adults are pushing big people carts. Kids are pushing little carts. And everyone has food in their cart because that is the point. This isn't a bumper car. It's a cart. Now come over here so I can fill it up with more shit.
Look around, Jack.
And he's like, no. So I put in a bag of apples and bananas. He takes the bananas and puts them on the floor.
Jack.
I'm livid. I'm like, Jack, but I don't want to take it away after just this one incident because like you deserve a warning. We all
make mistakes.
You deserve a warning. I pick up the bananas. I put them back in the cart. I'm like, Jack, if you take one more thing out of this cart, you're not going to have the privilege of pushing the cart. This is a privilege.
I'm the cart czar.
Not anyone just gets to push a cart. You have to be a responsible person to push a cart.
He's like, yeah, this is over my head, but
totally.
Go off, queen.
I'm like, what mommy says goes in the cart, and you need to stay right by me. Okay? He's giving me like a sulking face. Okay. Put my shit back in the cart. We start walking. Takes off zigzagging. I'm done. This is it. No more cart. I go and I grab him, pick him up, bring the cart back to the front of the store. I'm like, we're going to have to do a big people cart now because you are obviously not old enough or big enough to have your own cart.
What a singer.
Little babies cannot have their own carts. And apparently that's you. My mistake.
Oh my God. He's like, this is really turned.
He's literally screaming his head off like people are looking. I put him in the cart in like a normal size cart with my other shit. Go back into the store. He's like reaching out for his tiny cart like, you know, he's like Rose on the door in Titanic.
He's like, the cart.
Yeah, screaming. And he goes, no, mommy, you promised me.
His first taste of betrayal.
And people are staring at me in the store like, what did you promise this sweet little child? I'm like,
arrest this woman.
I'm like, what did I promise? He said, you said I could push the cart. You promised me, mommy. You promised. Screaming. And I was like, Jack, I told you could push the cart if you were going to be good with the cart. You broke a promise to mommy, actually.
Sorry, I didn't read the fine print.
And then I'll like lie to him and tell him that different signs say things that they don't sign, that they don't say.
Be tough when the reading comes.
Like the little thing says like, you know, Purple Plums 149, and I'm like, you see that sign? That says no running with your cart.
He's gonna really struggle with vowels. He's like, P does not make that sound.
He's not even looking at the sign.
He's like, P makes a cart sound.
I say, like, do you see that sign right there? That sign literally says no running with our cart.
It's like my mom used to tell me the car didn't run with the light on.
Why was the light on?
Like, I'd want to turn the light on to play with something in the back, and I'd be freaking out that she would turn the light off, and she's like, the car doesn't run. Boy, was that a crazy realization.
I did that one time when Jack tried to wiggle his way out of his car seat.
Oh, that's dangerous. Gotta lie.
I pulled over and I was like, "What happened, Jack? The car doesn't work if you're not in your car seat." He was like, "What?" It's like, "Get back in. We can't get home.
I never knew about this.
We're
connection.
stranded." I hit the hazard sign. My lights are flashing.
It's like,
Just lie.
it's really a cornerstone of parenting I've seen.
So, yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to the grocery store with you because you're so annoying.
He's like a grocery store terrorist.
But also, like, sometimes it's so fine. So you just don't know what version you're going to get that day.
The terrible threes. That's me too, though. Like, what version are you going to get?
You're right.
That's
You and Jack are really similar.
That's you. We're going through our terrible 33s.
Our terrible 33s.
You just got to go with it.
Until you can't anymore.
Until you're being chased by him.
And yes, and when like it's disturbing other people's peace is really where I draw the line.
I get that. And I think other people appreciate it. I hate when other kids are doing shit. I don't mind them doing the shit. It's when their parents act like it's not happening. Like, I get kids are kids, but like you've got to intervene at some point. Like when we were out to dinner and there was like a huge group of kids and they were running between all of the tables.
Oh, when we were with,
Morgan and Gabby, like, okay, kids do this, obviously, but then you need to say, if you guys are big enough to sit at
also,
your own
these were not kids. They were
10.
kids, but they were like not toddlers.
But you have to say, if you guys are old enough to have your own table, you have to stay at your table. Like, you're being disruptive. And the parents are like, ha, 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 ha. Like, no, I didn't come here for your kids to zigzag around and bump my chair 10 times. That's not the vibe.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying. I agree.
So,
if you wanted to do that, have a gathering at home.
absolutely.
I always think that, like, if you want your kids to be able to like do their own thing, like you have them set up at a table, like they're
Please.
running around. Why don't you have this at someone's house then? Someone obviously has a basement, or
please.
a separate room where the kids can run free and scream, and you can drink happily.
Everyone live their lives, but don't interrupt my dinner.
Yeah, don't interrupt my dinner. Don't interrupt my grocery experience.
I agree. Are you ready for a philosophical icebreaker?
Ooh, born ready.
Do you think everything happens for a reason?
Yeah, I do.
Me too. People don't.
Well, I think when something really horrible happens, it's hard to justify it.
I get that, but I thought kind of like everyone had this like notion. I don't know if it's like rooted in religion or spirituality or like what it is. And I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, no, like there's no master plan. And I was like, okay, you need to stop. You're undoing all of my calm. Like that gives me peace. Like I'm like,
There must be a
there's a bigger plan at work.
Yeah.
And I don't mean everything happens for a reason, like,
and not at professional work, like in the works.
yes. Like, and I don't mean like everything happens. I'm not one of those people who are like, well, I dropped the milk today. There must like, okay, that's just life. I mean like overarching interactions. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the universe.
Yes, like the universe is like with relationships, it's closing one door so another one can open. You're learning lessons so you're ready for something else. Like everything is kind of preparing you for the version of yourself that's supposed to be at a certain place. I was like, oh my God, if you don't feel that way, that must feel very untethering.
That person's probably like atheist.
I would feel so untethered.
I mean, you're definitely way more like universe woo-woo than me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, definitely. But I would like to believe it. It's like, you know, I would like to believe that that's true. I hope.
It's peaceful.
I'm not, you know, betting it all on blonde.
No, I just think it like gives you a sense of like peace. Like, okay, this happened. It sucked. But eventually I'll understand why.
It's like when like this is going to be a niche throwback, but when we were in college, our philanthropy for our sorority was St. Jude.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we would have parents from like the central to southern Illinois area come talk to us about like the impact of fundraising and how like parents of kids who went to St. Jude would come and talk to us about how important St. Jude was to them and whatever. And one of them came and was like really religious, which is like, you know, totally fine, whatever gets you through. And she was talking about how the experience made her more religious, like her daughter being sick, and then like some of her daughter's friends obviously through at St. Jude that she had met had passed. And she was like, and I just know that that's like, they're in a better place. Like that's part of God's plan, whatever. And I remember thinking like, hoo-wee.
I mean, that is remarkable that you're able to get there.
Like in that instance, I feel like she would be like, there is no God.
Totally.
But
yeah, that's a sort of like fortitude and strength that I would like
in that instance, how does someone say like, what is it meant to be?
We're like, it's everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. How does someone say everything happens for a reason?
I don't know. And it's difficult to say in the moment. I will say there's very few times something bad has happened to me and I've been like, oh, thank God. I'm sure there's a bigger plan. Like it's more in hindsight. And I try to remind myself of that
down the road.
And I try to remind myself of it in the moment. Like I can't see it. I don't know why, but like it would freak me the fuck out if I just thought we were all like, maybe I can't be atheist because my like psyche won't allow it.
It won't.
Like it just will not. It's like a self-preservation thing. But what the fuck? You're just like floating around. There's no rhyme or reason. Good things happen. Bad things happen. Like what? No, thank you.
But imagine like the peace it gives someone to think like, to really truly believe that like when you go, you really are in a better place.
I believe that.
You really do?
I really do. I think. No, I do.
I want to.
I really do.
Like, I hope so.
And again, I don't know if that's a self-preservation thing.
Right.
But I really believe it. Well, not all people. Like, I don't think Hitler's in a better place.
Well, he's in hell.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think like when you go. I think if you've like lived a good life.
But sometimes religion can be so like, can really box you in.
Agreed. I'm saying maybe we've all got a piece of the puzzle.
Maybe we're all a little bit right.
I think we are all a little bit right. There's a ton of overlap.
Speaking of religion,
mm-hmm.
I actually saw a story that I wanted to ask you about as someone who went to religious school.
Please.
So this teacher at St. Francis Xavier School, Mark Richards, 63, was fired after more than 2 decades at the school after a parent found a 2023 obituary written about his late husband, and it came out that he was gay.
That's awful.
Isn't that horrible?
Horrible. It was a Catholic school. I'm assuming they have saints.
Yes. Yeah. In a letter to parents, St. Francis Xavier confirmed the longtime music teacher's departure, but stated that they couldn't comment further for legal reasons. And during his time at the school, which is part of the Archdiocese of New Orleans, he signed a teaching contract every year that included a morality clause. The requirement initially gave Richards pause, but he claims he was told by a previous school administrator who is now dead not to worry and just to keep it out of the public and that you'll be okay, was a quote. According to 2 contracts from previous school years viewed by People, a teacher could be fired for, quote, any personal conduct or lifestyle which would be at variance with or contrary to the applicable policies of the Roman Catholic Church of the Archdiocese of New Orleans. So he saw this in his contract probably like 30 years ago and was like, bleh, and was told like, hey, don't worry about it. It's not like...
Just sign.
Yeah. A lifestyle policy document from the Archdiocese stated that educators should refrain from publicly supporting same-sex marriage or unions, as well as engaging in or supporting sexual relations outside of marriage, recognized as valid by the Roman Catholic Church, where marriage is understood as being between a man and a woman. So apparently, 2 years before this teacher was hired, he met a man named John, and the two married, and were together until John died of a heart attack at age 70 in 2023. Richards claims that school administrators knew that he was both gay and married, but that it wasn't a problem until the last day of school this past May when he was asked to come to a meeting with the administrators at school. He says, I walked in and they all looked very glum. He recalls they told me that a parent had taken it upon themselves to dig into my past and found this obituary that named me as John's surviving spouse and immediately turned it over to the archdiocese and the school. He claims the reason for the firing was for lying in his the contract about the morality clause. And the New Orleans Archdiocese nor the school has given additional comment.
Well, they got rid of him faster than some of the priests that needed to go.
Amen.
Here's I'm of two minds on it.
Okay.
I think it's incredibly fucked up. But I think it's fucked up on the Catholic Church side, as I felt for a long time. Like, their stance on gay and lesbian relationships, to me, doesn't make complete sense.
Isn't it kind of just like, get on board. We're moving on. People are gay.
It's in contradiction. Like, Jesus loved everyone except you guys. Like, it just doesn't feel like it all plays together. But the flip side of it is, unfortunately, in private schools, specifically religious schools, they have additional morality clauses that they're able to uphold. So, like, I am opposed and think it's fucked up, but they're within their rights. If you work at a school that's like requests women wear head coverings, it's a religious school, and you get hired as a teacher there, very clear expectations, and then you choose to stop doing it.
I don't know if that's the same, because it's not like he's like having, sex with his partner in the halls at school. No, he's doing it outside of school.
It's like he
has a personal life.
Absolutely.
There's probably other teachers there who aren't gay, but like are
having sex.
Dog abusers.
No, having sex before marriage.
I'm just saying, or shitty people.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Where's your morality clause on that?
The kicker is they are allowed to have additional morality clauses. Like, I had a teacher in high school who...
Did you have any gay teachers?
I know I did, but I can't think offhand. Not like out.
Oh.
Like, I don't think I had any out.
You couldn't have a teacher who was out.
I don't know if I couldn't, because I don't know what specifically our school's morality clauses were, but I don't remember any that were married in same-sex marriages.
Well, same-sex marriage wasn't legal, I don't think, until college.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But like, if they were, like, I had a few gay teachers. You just knew that their partner was...
I don't remember, truthfully. I'm sure I did.
Okay.
But I don't know what the policies were. But I did have a teacher in high school who I actually didn't like that much, but she was fine, who years after I left high school got fired for a Facebook post she had made.
Okay. Which
was derogatory and was in violation of her morality clause. And same thing, a parent like screenshotted it and sent it in. That's part of your contract. Like, when you sign these contracts at these religiously affiliated schools, it's the same thing for students. We could have been expelled from our schools for things that public schools can't. Public schools can't expel you for shit that you're doing morally outside the school within reason. If you're setting a house on fire and like abusing animals, there's obviously alternative programs. But like, we could get in trouble far more because we had to sign like a student conduct pledge.
Right.
That's the game.
I mean, we had to sign that too. I don't know how like binding that is, but like, isn't it left to the school to enforce? Like, they don't have to fire him.
The archdiocese probably would get involved though.
But would they? Isn't that also a choice? Like, morality is so vague.
It sounds like this woman.
It doesn't say specifically, like.
I am sure so many people at the school knew. It was just this woman got involved.
Right. That's what it sounds like from that article, that he was like, administrators knew, like.
I'm sure people knew, but the busybody got involved and either was connected or.
This sweet gay music teacher, old man.
Yep. It's wrong. Fuck that woman, honestly. Like her, I don't know if she'll go to a better place when her time comes.
But I wonder if your high school now like has openly gay.
I don't think it probably would, only because it's
still a point of contention.
Well, it's a Catholic school, and the Catholic school does not.
Is it as bad as like a teacher saying she had an abortion?
That would be weird, just because you should never be in any school.
Yeah, why would you?
Like, I think that would be an immediate. Not even because they're anti-abortion, because that's like just so inappropriate to discuss with your students.
Right. Yeah. Don't do that.
In any school, public or otherwise.
Don't really discuss your abortion at work at all.
Yeah, like any workplace, honestly, really shouldn't come up. but it's still not.
Like gay marriage, you think is just as bad as abortion? Just in the view of the church now?
I'm so ill-equipped to say. I don't know. I really don't. I think they're probably even.
Really? I would have thought abortion's way worse.
Maybe. I was going to say maybe abortion is worse. I don't know. But the Catholic Church is still very anti. Even though they've gotten, I know that under Pope Francis, he was blessing same-sex marriages.
Because the point is that it's supposed to be, it says specifically man and a woman.
Yeah.
But aren't there like people who are
but it also,
literalists, like, and then they don't pay attention to the other
fundamentalists?
Sure. The other like specific things that it says.
Yes, there's tons of hypocrites. I mean, I think, and now I'm just like quoting an Instagram, so don't get too down on me.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, if you're not having sex for the purpose of procreating, I don't think that's allowed either. That's why they're anti birth control.
Oh, because it goes against the whole point.
Mm-hmm. I think. Again, so sorry to my
You've
Catholics.
really got to brush up on your Catholic upbringing.
I know, it's been quite some time.
Like a million years of Catholic school, and we're
they choose to not talk about sex much, so it's not an accident that I have a bit of a gray area here.
Oh, they don't even mention it at all.
Abstinence.
Oh, right.
So like, it's not like you're getting into the weeds on.
Do you think there's any girls? You know how it's like such a Catholic school like trope that like girls go and have abortions and like live with their aunts for the summer?
It happened a lot, like in the 60s and 70s. I don't think it happens anymore.
No,
I don't think so. I mean, again,
did you know of any girls who had abortions in high school? Because there were some.
I'm sure.
Just statistically.
Yeah, statistically, I don't think I knew of any. No.
I can think of 3 girls from my high school who had abortions.
But I don't know if it's that, like, I'm sure their friends knew. Like, you're telling your friends about your abortions typically. Like, I don't think that's something that people are like spreading about the school.
Yeah.
So.
Mayhaps.
Yeah, like I'm sure they told their friends. There were 2 girls in our grade who got pregnant.
And they put it up for adoption?
No, both kept the babies.
Oh.
After, like, both were pregnant at graduation.
Wow.
And they have like 15-year-olds now.
That's really crazy. Did Carmel have any sort of...
I don't think they knew because it was graduation.
They didn't know they were pregnant at graduation?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was like... And our 2 pregnant students, that's something they advertised.
Weren't like showing, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I don't think we had anyone pregnant at graduation, but we definitely could have. That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why you had 2 pregnant girls at graduation, because they only talk about abstinence.
Again, I don't want to like comment on the sexual history of my entire class. I don't know what was going down for other people. I'm sure people had abortions. Like statistically, all this stuff was going on. People were definitely having sex, so that was not a question. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I think it's crazy, but he has no recourse, unfortunately.
For sure.
Speaking of just absolutely fucked up things, the Diddy trial.
Diddy.
It is such fucking bullshit.
I don't understand why the jury, like, it was just really that the evidence didn't.
I think it gets hard for juries when it's like beyond a reasonable doubt. So, which I don't struggle with. Like, I wasn't on this jury and I feel confident he's guilty. But I think when you're feeling the weight of being a juror and you're looking at the definition of these crimes, especially something as nuanced as what he did, like, it's not textbook sex trafficking, you know? Like, it's not what you would stereotypically call that crime. Not to say it doesn't fit the definition.
It's kind of like can this or can this not be interpreted as sex trafficking?
Yeah.
If it can't be interpreted as sex trafficking, then what is it? Just being an asshole?
Abusive, domestic violence.
Which is not
a federal crime.
Federal crime. Okay.
So he has been detained until his sentencing, citing his history of domestic violence, which, like, we've seen the videos. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. He was found guilty of the lesser charges, which essentially just equate to transporting people across state lines for purposes of prostitution. He still faces a potential sentence of as much as 20 years in prison, but
that's not happening.
I don't think he's going to get the max. They're also going to give him time served. So he's been in prison for, I think, almost 10 months since he was arrested. So a lot of times at sentencing, they'll just tack that on. And then they'll probably make his charges concurrent rather than consecutive. So if he gets 5 years for each of the charges, it could be 10 years. But most people are saying that based on the type of charges these are, they'll be served concurrently at the same time.
So he could likely serve how long in prison?
People are saying 5 years would be the sentence for each. He'll do them together, and he's already served 10 months.
Because his time waiting for trial counts.
So by October, it'll probably be a year. So he might do 4 years of actual sentence time.
Is he in like a prison where like it's like dingy and shitty, or is he in one of those?
I think right now he's being still held at like the detention center because he hasn't been transferred over. So at least it's a little shitty. But it's just devastating because, not to get like very deep and philosophical, but there's this whole concept that like violence and these sort of crimes are underreported, and like the reason that people aren't brought to justice is because there isn't enough reporting. And then it gets reported and there's this huge high profile case and these people are testifying in like what is probably a very dangerous situation for them. Like he's a proven violent, vindictive person and nothing happens. So it's like, it kind of reinforces to women who are in these situations, like, is it worth it?
Right.
On the world stage, we still couldn't get the work done. I fucking hate these jurors. I'm sorry. I just like, ugh. And I was reading the transcripts like of the trial because I'm a nut job.
Yeah.
It didn't seem ambiguous ever.
Have any of the jurors come out now and said how deliberations were going?
I haven't seen anything.
I think it's just like when you want it to go one way, but the evidence presented does not, like, he obviously had like probably the best fucking attorneys in the world.
And how do those people sleep at night? People who are not going to a better place.
Yeah. You know, like the prosecution is up against such a tough journey. Like,
for sure.
It's such a high profile case. And it's almost like you're trying to prove something that people like already kind of feel is legitimate. You know, it's not like, didn't he? Like he did, but you're like trying to prove the severity.
Well, I think I read somewhere that people feel like the prosecution maybe swung a little bit too high on the charges, but it was a criminal enterprise. Like, I think people are more used to racketeering coming from like mob bosses, you know, this like whole criminal entity that like you have a boss and then an underboss and they're all like moving the parts to get this crime done. I don't know what else you call what he had going on. He was at the top. He had all these minions. He was like using violence and threats of violence and coercion to get people to engage in more criminal activity. That's racketeering.
Right.
But it just went so south. And I fucking hate him. It really bums me out.
And so like, where does he go from here?
I hope his personal like image has been tarnished enough. I think it has.
That it doesn't turn into like a redemption story. I hope we're beyond that.
I don't think you can come back with like some sort of redemption story after we saw, I hope him like slam Cassie to the ground.
Yeah.
In that video.
Yeah.
Yep. So maybe he'll live like in a prison of his own making.
One can only hope.
Which would be a fine consolation prize if we have to get it. I feel like we're kind of bearer of bad news, but did you see that Caitlyn Jenner's longtime friend, manager, kind of ambiguous person in their life?
I actually saw that made like breaking news.
Yeah, Sophia Hutchins died
and
at
I
29.
Was like, who?
If you watched any of like the seasons right after Caitlyn transitioned, she was kind of a main figure, and she still pops up a lot, like in birthday photos that they'll post. She's always there. There was a lot of speculation that maybe they were dating when Caitlyn first transitioned.
Is that what it is? Is that why this is such a like?
They've
like
never.
Caitlyn. I mean, I got like she was young, obviously. How did she die?
ATV accident.
Oof.
Fuck ATVs.
My best friend Morgan works at like a long-term care facility for people with traumatic brain injuries, and a lot of them are from like freak accidents like that, like ATV, like, you know, you're on a jet ski and it's just like, oh my god, and then they live like they can't even walk or feed themselves anymore after like an ATV accident. And it's like, is ATVing that fun?
I know I sound like an old person,
No fireworks.
I know, but it's like there's a reason. Like I had a really good friend in high school whose brother was in a terrible snowmobile accident, and thankfully he survived. And he like raced snowmobiles, and I remember thinking even then at like 18, like I don't want to go snowmobiling. Like
Ever again.
sledding is fine. Like sledding is the same concept. You slide down the hill.
I don't think
Whee!
sledding and snowmobiling is comparable at all.
It's like a winter sport. Like
Sledding is like going down a slide at the park, and snowmobiling is like driving a race car.
but it's like people who ski, and I've been skiing.
Yeah, no.
They die. Like I understand.
die.
I understand.
And what happens is you go skiing and you die.
I sound like Mean Girls. Like I understand there's a reasonable amount of risk that we have to be comfortable taking in life. Skiing, okay, I understand. Some of this shit, like, nah, I'm good. But very sadly, she was killed on an ATV very close to Caitlyn's home. First responders who reached Sophia pronounced her dead on the scene. 2 people in the car Sophia struck were not injured, so it sounds like her ATV maybe collided with a vehicle.
A vehicle?
Yeah.
She was ATVing on the highway?
I don't know. It says that she was...
Where do you drive? Like in the mountains, you go like ATVing or something?
Typically, yeah. It says, we're told Sophia was riding this is from TMZ. We're told Sophia was riding the ATV on the road where Caitlyn lives when she struck the bumper of a moving car. The impact forced the ATV over the shoulder, sending it and Sophia plummeting 350 feet down into a ravine.
She just bumped into a car?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So they first met in 2015, soon after Jenner publicly announced her transition. She appeared in the several episodes of I Am Kate that show that E had about the transition.
I didn't watch that. Did you?
I did, yeah, and she was on it. And in addition to their longtime friendship, Hutchins also worked as Jenner's manager.
Wow.
Really sad.
So sad.
Yeah.
But that makes more sense about why the news is so, because they were maybe...
People have always kind of like alluded
that they were together.
Caitlyn has said no, but they like at one point I believe she was living in the house. Either way, extremely close.
Right. That's awful.
Yeah. I feel bad for Caitlyn. I know people hate her and she's like a really controversial person, but I feel like her world is very small.
She annoys the shit out of me.
I know her world is like very small though. So to like lose a person that's that close to you.
She's just kooky.
Oh yeah. Nut job. And it was actually really upsetting because so much of the comments, like I would click on stories to try and find more information. And I'm not kidding you, 80% of the comments on this like tragic passing were transphobic.
Oh, for God's
And I
sakes,
was like,
people,
fuck
take
you
your
all.
bullshit
Like,
elsewhere.
No one made you read this. If you don't want to read it, keep scrolling.
I know we didn't talk about the Alex Cooper documentary,
Oh yeah.
but it was so good.
So good. I love her.
And a lot of like, I guess like 100 former women's soccer players for Boston University have signed a petition saying like that their coach, Nancy, whatever the fuck her name was not abusive in any way, like some sort of like statement saying like Alex's tale isn't true. And it's like, why would she go through all of this?
And beyond that,
It's just like the people who come out of the woodwork to like comment on it, and like that's what made me think of it. But also like relating back to the Diddy thing, like you muster up like
the
courage to come out and talk about it, and then there's always going to be people who are like, that's not what happened. It's like, I'm sorry, were you there?
And beyond that, if I found out that one of my skating coaches was accused of abusing
someone who you like loved and spent a lot of personal time with,
I
like
would just
went out to lunch, the two of you,
I would just think, I'm so fortunate I wasn't their victim. Not that they didn't victimize someone else.
right? Like, damn, you had me fooled.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like in the business of being like, it couldn't be.
Right.
These are my coaches. Like, yes, as close as you know a coach, how well can you know a coach?
Yes.
So like, wow, I'm so fortunate I didn't have that fucked up experience, and that's terrible she did. Not like I need to sign a petition. God, people are just getting on my nerves.
Agreed. Okay, I have a dilemma for you.
Okay.
This is an interesting one.
Great.
So this girl writes in. She doesn't say how old she is, but she says, well, I'll just tell you. So her best friend was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she's like, says that it's crazy for how old they are. So I would assume younger, 20s or 30s. And she has 2 little kids, the friend. And so this girl's writing in and she says that she tried to like arrange like a meal thing.
Train.
Yes, meal train. And the friend was like, no, I don't want anyone to like go out of their way. People have such busy lives. Like, no. Thank you for the thought, whatever. So she's like, so I didn't do that. And like, whenever I'm like, hey, should I like come by? Like I can bring you dinner, whatever. She's like, no, we're good. Thank you, whatever. So she's like, so the girl writing in is like, I feel like I haven't done a ton to be like really helpful during this time because the girl
Who has breast cancer.
Because the girl who has breast cancer is like not really letting her do a ton. Mm-hmm. And she's like, and then we were talking on the phone the other day and she was like, they have this group of friends and she's like, I just feel like I haven't like heard a ton from them. Like they'll like reach out to like say, how am I feeling? Whatever. But like, I don't know. They haven't done like even offered to make something or like take the kids for the afternoon or, you know, anything. So she's like, I just feel like kind of like an afterthought. And like when I'm already feeling like shitty, that makes me feel even shittier. So this girl's writing in and saying like, I think maybe it's partially my fault because like I wanted to arrange this. And then I said to all of our friends, like, never mind, she doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. So now they're like, oh, she doesn't want people to like fawn over her.
Right.
But she's also like, but I feel like maybe I should be doing more. And it was kind of making me think of like, because she says at the end of this thing, she says, and I know that there's people who would just like do it anyway, but she says, I'm not that kind of friend. And I was thinking like, I don't know if you have to be that kind of friend or if that's like the right kind of friend to be. Like the friend who just like doesn't listen when you say no. But is that being a friend?
I think you have to know your audience.
Okay.
I think there's some friends who need it to just be forced upon them. Like they're not good at asking for help. They're uncomfortable asking for help. They might not even know what they need. And then I think there are people who you have to take at face value who are like, don't do that.
Right.
Like that's going to add annoyance and frustration to my plate.
Totally.
So it's hard to say not knowing this friend. Because
but it seems like the fact that she commented and said like, you know, no one's really done a ton other than like just check in to see how I'm feeling. It's like, well, you said you didn't want any of this stuff. And so now people are like, what's the middle of like.
You know me, I love over communication. If I were the girl writing in, I would call the friend and be like, listen, I want to own my side of the street. Maybe they're not doing these things because after I had asked about this, you said you didn't want it. I'm sorry if I misunderstood. I just need you to tell me like 5 things that would be helpful for you. And I've got it. Like, I don't need like a to-do list. I don't want you to feel like you have to tell me what to do. I just am a little lost and I don't want to upset you, but I also don't want you to at all feel abandoned. So like, just give me 5 things that would be helpful and we'll figure it out.
A step beyond that even I think would be really helpful because there were a lot of people, not that this is comparable in any way, but after I had a baby who were reaching out being like, what can I do? Can I bring food? Like, can I just come sit with the baby for a little and you nap? And it was like, I don't know. I was like overwhelmed by like, you need so much, but you're like, I don't need anything at all, I guess, you know?
Like
and
Frozen.
so, and so I think it would be so helpful if you send a list of like things that you personally can do. Like be like, and here are 10 things that I can do. And you're like,
you pick.
Yes, but you're not allowed to say none of them.
No, absolutely.
And some of them can be like a really low lift.
Yep.
Because then like they get to pick, but you can be like, I will make you dinner for 4 that can be put in the freezer. Like a whole meal of like meat, sides, etc. Hope you're not a vegetarian.
I'll figure that out too. Enchiladas.
That can like, you can eat this week or just freeze for another time is option 1. You know, like option 2. I'll take the kids to a movie. You know, like just really specific things. Or like if that's like too much, you can be like, I will
drop the kids off at school for a week. If you just want me to come pick them up and it's hard to get out the door. And
yes. Or like even lower than that, like I will send dinner in from Grubhub.
Yep. I'll send you a Grubhub gift card.
Right.
Like if you're like, you know what, we want to order in more. I can't even think about what we want. Like sometimes I think, thankfully I've not been in that exact situation, but sometimes when you're in a bit of a shitstorm, it's almost more work to have someone do something for you. Like
I agree with that.
I remember after, I forget what was going on in my family. A bunch of people wanted to send us in dinner. And they kept being like, let us send dinner. And I kept being like, the idea of like coordinating the people who are texting me to send in dinner and find out who's going to be at my house and like how much food do I need, and like it was just like never mind. But if someone had like sent like a $50 Grubhub gift card like whenever
to your email
when you want to get dinner, it would have been like, oh, so whoever's here tonight, I'll just get dinner.
Right.
But you don't want to say that to someone. Like you don't want to be like, can I get back to you? So you're just like, no, I don't need anything. And then you're like, oh, that was really nice, but like
right. Sometimes it's just like, again, I agree. Like it's too much work when you're in the middle of the storm to like know exactly what you want. And so I think being a good friend is being like just pushy enough to know like how much that friend really needs. Like some friends really can never be pushed too far.
Totally.
Like there are some people who are just like, they'll say no, but they're like
happy to have it.
Yeah, like if you just show up or send something or do whatever, they're never annoyed by that.
Yeah.
And there's some people who are like, if you show up at their house with like dinner and are like, we're gonna have dinner, they'd be like, that's not part of my plan today.
I don't want that. Like
I don't want that at all. So it does depend for sure on the person.
And I think you and I are very different on that. Like I'm like, I'll say no, but if you show up, I'm never sad. Or like if you say no, don't bring dinner, it's because like you have a plan for dinner. And like
yeah, I don't want dinner to go to waste. Like I probably already have planned dinner.
I show up, Jack's about to get in the bath. Now he's running around. You're like, this is not helpful. Now he's like, know your friend enough to know what you can do for them. But I'm always consistent on like just reminding people you're there. Like once a week, like, hey, I know you said no. I still am really eager to be there for you. Like even if you don't want to send the list, if that's not it, just like making sure people don't feel abandoned. How she's like, I don't feel like these people are checking in. Like, hey, thinking of you today. I'm around for 3 hours.
Yes, and there's something beyond checking in. Like I think if you say like, because I understand the burden of feeling like, oh, you know, I don't want you to like drive all the way over to my house. Not you personally, but like a friend to like drive over to my house and then like I'm not feeling great and you like can't stay a while and whatever. But like, so then you as the friend who's trying to be supportive, maybe just like text and be like, hey, I'm over by your house because I had to make something up. Like I had to go blah, blah, blah. So like if you're feeling up for lunch, I can pick up and bring over. Like I can just stop for a few minutes to say hi. I'm in the area anyway. And then they don't have to feel bad that like you made a special trip out there, even though you did.
They don't need to know.
They don't need to know that. Like sometimes you just have to like, you have to know when to push yourself and how to push yourself enough that it's not going to like overwhelm them.
Yep.
But I really recommend the list of things that would be helpful.
That's a good idea.
Because then they don't have to sit there and think about it. Like,
yeah. And then they still get the like, I think sometimes what happens is help can almost feel like you're losing control. Like
I can't do this for myself.
Well, and like people are showing up and just doing things in your house and like, I don't put that there. You know what I mean? So it can feel like, and in a situation where you're like trying to keep your shit together, it's probably like, I need as much control as possible.
Totally.
So the list is nice because you can be like, oh, I can pick the things that are actually helpful and also give them a semblance of like, I can do this. Like I remember someone in my family died and one of my aunts showed up and like cleaned our whole kitchen. I don't know why. It was so nice, but like,
where is all my stuff now?
Moved so much shit that my grandma was looking for off our kitchen table.
Yeah.
And my grandma had like a complete fucking meltdown. I think it was after my grandpa died. And she was like overwhelmed. Her husband died. All these papers have been moved. We're trying to get a hold of my aunt. She's not answering. And it was like, thank you. But like, where
is all my shit?
Where is all my shit?
Yes.
Like, the kitchen looks beautiful, but I'm confused.
Right.
And so sometimes in an effort to like do the right thing, we can like overdo.
I actually just was, because when my sister-in-law came home from the hospital, she had like gifts people had brought or sent or whatever, and there were like just like boxes of diapers, like the newborn diapers that like she had a few in the baby's room, but like there were some boxes now that like had to go somewhere, but where, and like you come home with all this shit, whatever. And so like when I was there, I was like, what can I do? And she was like, I don't even know. I was like, why don't I just put away some of these like boxes that are just like sitting by the door? And so I was putting stuff away in the nursery, but then I brought my brother-in-law Anthony into the room and was like, this is where I put everything, so that when you're looking for like
at 1 a.m.
Yes. When you're like, where is that?
Totally.
Whatever. I was like, so I ended up putting the charger for this. It's plugged in here. And then like, this is here. And like, because I know when someone comes and does something for you and then you're like, where the fuck did that go?
I need that.
It's so easy for like something that's like meant to be helpful to go south.
Yeah. No, and you're an excellent helper. I will say that's one of your strengths. You show up at the right time with the right thing. It's a gift. Not everyone has it. So like if you don't have it, that's okay. But like ask what you can do.
Totally. Like when you don't know, again, like
ask.
Yeah. Like, and as a PSA for anybody, like if you know someone who's just had a baby, just send a list of like 10 things that are like, can I just like come and hold the baby for an hour on the couch and you take a nap? Or like, do you want to take a walk? Like I can come and we like bring us Starbucks, like literally options. And then the person can just be like, this sounds good.
Thank you. Yeah. No, that's
like
great
circle
advice.
3.
A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, H, I, J, K, any of them.
Any of these, you can pick all 10.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really, really good idea.
But you have to pick at least 2.
I think it's so hard to ask for help. So I think you have to do that sort of stuff.
Sometimes you just have to push, but like not so much where it's like, holy shit.
Leave the fuck alone.
Leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. Good luck.
But I would send out a text to your friends for sure and be like, you guys, like, I think this might be my fault because I canceled the meal train and now like
no one knows what to do.
No one knows what the fuck to do. So I'm going to send out a text and like some of the things we're going to split up between us. Like if like, you know, I'm going to send her a text of like, this is what we can all do every week. And like maybe somebody takes something and somebody takes something else. And then we all just like band together because we are all obviously here for her. Like
we're just a little paralyzed.
We don't know what to do.
Oh, being a good friend. It's important.
Not easy.
Not easy though.
We work at it.
You have to.
It works if you work it. And on that note, I'll call you later.
Call you later. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.